I don't know about you, but whenever I buy a brand new product, whether that be a phone or a laptop or a camera, I kind of have this giddy, excited feeling that lingers for a good week or two until I finally acclimate to the fact that I own a new device. But ever since I bought the OnePlus 6, that excited feeling really hasn't gone away, and I'm still thrilled to be able to use this device as my daily driver. Let's get into why. So beginning with the design on the OnePlus 6, I really do think that OnePlus stepped up its game by adding that glass back. It really does make the phone feel great in the hand. It gives it more of a heft and makes it feel a lot more premium than its predecessor, the OnePlus 5, which was pretty much all aluminum except for its glass front. I enjoy the new vertical symmetry on the back. You have your vertical dual camera, which is centered in the middle. Under that you have the flash, the new slimmer fingerprint sensor, and the logo. Just looks nice and I appreciate that. Another feature I really enjoy is the mute toggle switch, which is now positioned on the right, making it much easier to handle and flick on just with your thumb rather than your pointer finger on the left side doing this weird hand dance. I love this feature because I can make sure that my phone isn't going to buzz or ring at the wrong time, whether that be when I'm sleeping or I'm at some kind of event where it would be inappropriate for my phone to go off. So it's great to have that physical peace of mind that your phone isn't going to make any sound or buzz at the wrong time. My only complaint about this phone's design is its subpar speaker, which is kind of quiet, sort of tinny, and easily muffled or covered up. But mind you, you retain the headphone jack, which is super convenient. So I would say this speaker is a tolerable aspect of this phone. So overall, I really do enjoy the design of this device. I think it's sleek, beautiful, and a bit understated, and it's finally on par with its substantially more expensive counterparts, the Apples, the HTCs, and the Samsungs. It just really feels great in the hand, and I'm sure you'll enjoy whatever variant you pick up. Next thing I want to talk about is this phone's incredible display. It's still 1080p, but in my opinion, it looks sharp, colorful, and very contrasty. Mind you, this is a AMOLED display. It has a resolution of 2280 by 1080. That is a 19:9 aspect ratio. And of course, we have to address the elephant in the room, the notch, which some people hate, some people love. Personally, I don't mind it. I don't even notice it. It's small enough, it's unobtrusive, and I have not had an issue with it yet. You can scale video up to 18:9. The notch will not cut through the video unless you want it to, which you can toggle in settings. Oxygen OS is really great when it comes to the notch. You can have full screen apps where you can take advantage of the entire display. You can hide the notch. You can really do whatever you want with it. It's very customizable. So if you hate or love it, this phone should not be an issue for you. Going back to the 19:9 aspect ratio, you have the choice of enabling off-screen gestures, which I have enabled. They're really smooth and well integrated. I don't know what people are talking about saying, I don't like them and they don't go well. I personally had no issue with them, and initially I thought I was going to miss the capacitive buttons on my OnePlus 5, but I really do enjoy these off-screen gestures. They're easy to toggle and they're very smooth. So, you know, in my experience, I really do enjoy them, and they give you so much more screen real estate to work with. In regard to this phone's battery life, it's excellent. I think it performs just as well as its predecessor, the OnePlus 5, both of which can get me through a day of moderate to heavy usage with some juice left over. And even if you do manage to burn through this phone's battery, which is kind of hard to do, you have dash charging, which is an incredible feature offered by OnePlus, and is one of the reasons why I come back to OnePlus phones. Just as advertised, you can charge your phone to about 50% in 30-40 minutes, no problem. And you can charge your phone the whole way through in an hour, hour 15 minutes, hour and a half. Super convenient, let me tell you. It saved me several times where I have forgot to charge my phone. So now on to camera quality. And remember this phone's price point. So Marquez gave this camera a B+ rating, and I think that's pretty accurate. Maybe in some cases I would say it can get an A- image. But Overall, I've been very satisfied with the images and videos I've captured with this device and have seen significant improvements over its predecessor, the OnePlus 5. The new hardware improvements in this phone include bigger sensor sizes, which allow more light in, which improve low light. We now have OIS, or optical image stabilization, in the 16 megapixel main sensor, which makes low light photo and video look a ton better because you can lower the shutter speed while at the same time keeping the sensor steady. Although some of the images can look a little oversaturated, over sharpened, like I said, I'm very satisfied with the images I'm cranking out with this phone. Pictures look sharp, colorful, contrasty, enjoyable to look at, and I'm also happy to report that the portrait mode on the OnePlus 6 looks a ton better than that of the OnePlus 5. I don't know about the 5T, I never really used it. The software seems to be doing the trick in identifying edges and whatnot, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's coming to the front camera. We haven't received that update yet, at least I haven't updated to that yet. But yeah, it seems to perform well enough. Of course, not Pixel 2 level, but you can generate some really nice looking faux bokeh, so to speak. Video capture on this device is also great as well. You have a plethora of resolutions and frame rates. 4K 30 and 4K 60 video look sharp as well. Better in low light. I wouldn't say up to par with that of the Pixel and the iPhone and the Samsungs, which have these incredible, much more expensive camera setups, but like I said, I'm very satisfied with the videos and images I'm getting from this device, and if you're not a hardcore smartphone photographer or videographer, this should satisfy you and then some. Going back to the variable video frame rates, you have some slow motion options on here, 1080p at 240 FPS, as well as 720p at 480 FPS. Now, most of the time, these frame rates are kind of novelty, but they're nice to have. I mean, if there's a moment you want to capture at, a very high frame rate, especially that 480 FPS frame rate, which can give you some pretty cool looking results. But mind you, you gotta have a lot of light in these scenarios, and you're not gonna be recording slow-mo all the time anyway, but it's nice to have nonetheless. And before I forget to mention, the 16 megapixel shooter on the front, which I believe has an f2.0 aperture, always seems to deliver sharp, contrasty, and satisfactory selfies. So no worry there if you're someone who takes a lot of front photos. And last but certainly not least, let's discuss the user experience and performance of this device. And really quick, just turned on my hair light. It finally decided to turn on after, God even knows, 30-40 minutes of recording this A-roll. So I apologize for the inconsistency in the lighting. Hopefully it looks a little better now. So the main reason why I own a OnePlus device is because of the performance and user experience. The marriage of the Snapdragon 845 on board along with 8 gigs of RAM just creates a blazing fast Oxygen OS experience, a software which is already optimized to be lightweight and stock, and it just runs, it screams. Everything you do is just instantaneous, whether that's opening apps, multitasking, playing games, loading web pages. The only time you really see lag is when your network can't catch up with the phone. So it really is enjoyable to use, and it really has not let me down. It slays multitasking with that aforementioned 8 gigs of RAM. I would say 7 times out of 10, your app is open, ready to go, no problem, even if you open it hours beforehand. And speaking of Oxygen OS, it really is my favorite flavor of Android for several reasons. Number one, as we said, it's blazing fast, very optimized for the hardware aboard this device. Number two, it offers a lot of useful features. Customizability, you have a universal dark mode, accent colors, off-screen gestures. I use the flashlight gesture all the time when, I'm in a dark environment, I need to, see something. It receives regular software updates, of course not as quickly as stock Android, but an update rolls out every couple weeks. It's not like you have to wait a year or a couple months. The last thing I want to talk about in regard to this phone's software experience and performance, I guess, are the biometrics, or the methods you use to unlock your phone. The facial recognition is excellent and super quick. It's not easily fooled. You cannot fool it with a photo or a video, so unless somebody is really dedicated to unlocking your phone via the facial recognition, you have nothing to worry about, in my opinion. And if you really don't like that, or you don't trust it fully, you can always lock apps with the fingerprint sensor found on the back, or you can opt for this altogether if you want. And mind you, this is also incredibly quick. You literally just tap the back and it's already unlocked. So yeah, really excellent options in regard to unlock with the OnePlus 6. All in all, I am very impressed with this device and really do enjoy using it on the day to day. Some people were having a big issue with OnePlus raising the price point by $30, but I think that the 19:9 display, the OIS found in the main shooter, and the overall refined fit and finish of the phone are well worth that extra cash. So to reiterate and to conclude, if you'd like to pick up a phone with an excellent design, display, battery life, a pretty decent camera, and stellar software experience and performance, mind you, under $650, the OnePlus 6 is the phone for you, and I highly recommend it. I paid for this phone out of pocket, and I think it's worth every penny. So yeah, that about wraps things up. I hope this video helped you out. I would really appreciate it if you'd leave a like in the video, comment if you have any questions or suggestions, and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.